Hi. Let's learn about contribution margin and how it's calculated. The contribution margin can be stated on a gross or per unit basis. It represents the incremental money generated for each product/unit sold after deducting the variable portion of the firm's costs. The contribution margin is computed as the selling price per unit, minus the variable cost per unit. Also known as dollar contribution per unit, the measure indicates how a particular product contributes to the overall profit of the company. It provides one way to show the profit potential of a particular product offered by a company and shows the portion of sales that helps to cover the company's fixed costs. Any remaining revenue left after covering fixed costs is the profit generated. The contribution margin is computed as the difference between the sale price of a product and the variable costs associated with its production and sales process. It is expressed through the formula, C equals R, V, where C is the contribution margin, R is the total revenue, and V represents variable costs. It may also be useful to express the contribution margin as a fraction of total revenue, known as the contribution margin ratio. The contribution margin is the foundation for break-even analysis used in overall cost and sales price planning for products. It helps separate out the fixed cost and profit components coming from product sales and can be used to determine the selling price range of a product, the profit levels that can be expected from the sales, and structure sales commissions paid to sales team members, distributors, or commission agents. One-time costs for items such as machinery are a typical example of a fixed cost that stays the same regardless of the number of units sold, although it becomes a smaller percentage of each unit's cost as the number of units sold increases. Other examples include services and utilities that may come at a fixed cost and do not have an impact on the number of units produced or sold. In these kinds of scenarios, costs that do not vary based on production are considered fixed costs. These costs are often considered sunk costs and should not be considered in making decisions about cost analysis or profitability measures. The contribution margin is different from the gross profit margin. While contribution margins only count the variable costs, the gross profit margin includes all of the costs that a company incurs in order to make sales. The contribution margin shows how much additional revenue is generated by making each additional unit product after the company has reached the break-even point. Here are 3 key takeaways. 1. The contribution margin is the foundation for break-even analysis used in overall cost and sales price planning for products. 2. The concept of contribution margin is one of the fundamental keys in break-even analysis. 3. Low contribution margins are present in labor-intensive companies with few fixed expenses, while capital-intensive, industrial companies have higher fixed costs and thus, higher contribution margins. Hope this would help. Thanks for watching.